Hey guys, this is Daniel,
And Matthew, and
and
we
we are
are
gonna that
that
damn
damn brand.
brand.
That was
So,
probably the worst one ever.
yep, probably. But we're doing another episode because we had so much to talk about, and we kind of want to get back on schedule after a
What?
little break. Um, Unfortunately, we don't have Curran this time. That's all right.
Oh,
He's with us in spirit.
yeah.
Okay, so for our first topic, we actually had. This is completely out of left field for me. I didn't expect this. IKEA and ROG Gaming, or Asus, pretty much. They're over most of the time overpriced gaming products. They're teaming up together to bring you furniture, gaming furniture. They're saying they're about to have. They're working on 30 different furniture types, and I don't know. Like that's really all that we have from there. Oh, I'm kind of skeptical of it. Like, I do need a gaming desk. My desk is not working out for me, honestly. I do want something where a little bit more space, maybe something geared more towards streaming, where has a place where I can put my microphone. I plan on getting one of those weights where you can bring it over, like you have. Yeah, but I just don't have the room for that here. Like, um,
I
so
shouldn't
I'm
have done
hoping
that though.
they.
It's all fucking. God. Anyway,
So I'm hoping they can do some some obviously they're gonna do gaming centric stuff. I am kind of worried about it because ROG shit's really expensive, but Nokia shit's really cheap. So I wonder if they'll meet in the middle and make something like
moderately expensive.
yeah. I'm also a little concerned about the price. I mean not price, I'm sorry. Like we just talked about the quality.
Okay.
Oh, forgive me, I'm a little tired. The quality, like I hope it's not like traditional IKEA shit. Like I don't want anything from IKEA because it's kind of just throwaway furniture.
So, okay, so for those of you who don't know, ROG stands for Republic of Gamers, and yeah, it's a brand that's associated mostly with Asus. And I kind of disagree and agree with what you're saying about IKEA. My girlfriend and I went to IKEA like last year sometime, and we bought a bunch of stuff from my old apartment, and we ended up getting like a kitchen table and some dishes and stuff like that. And like, I fucking love the dishes. The dishes are like highly good quality. And then the little table that I got from my apartment was relatively cheap. I think like $40 or something. It wasn't really big, but it was like really sturdy. And actually, when I was moving to this apartment, I put that table up on OfferUp, and I got fucking offers like immediately. Like I put other shit on OfferUp that I thought was more worthy of being for sale, like more worthy of attention than that IKEA table. And that IKEA table just like attracted everybody. Like they saw IKEA and they're like, psh, 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 like everybody fucking hit me up. So I sold that thing like that. So IKEA has the brand name recognition, and Republic of Gamer, A slash Asus, whatever, they also have the brand recognition. So I think them coming together, I would hope that it would be a product that is like moderately priced, as you were saying, like somewhere in the middle, and actually decent quality considering. Um, but you said that they're still coming up with, what'd you say, like 20 things of furniture?
What
Like,
it says 30 pieces of furniture and they didn't specify what, so
I
you
mean,
know,
so a desk makes sense. Maybe like a gaming chair. I mean, what the fuck else is there? You know what I
maybe
mean?
different sized desks and different sized chairs. Like I don't know.
Yeah, like 10 chairs and like
Yeah.
50 desks or 20 desks, whatever. Like, yeah, I honestly don't know. But so ROG also normally has RGB as well, right? Or am I just mixing up the acronyms?
Well, their parts do, like my graphics card has RGB, my motherboard has RGB, but I'm not familiar with any like
Well, I
tables
just
that would have RGB.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering if they're gonna
Like
do like fucking lighting on the fucking desks and on the chairs. Like, yeah, this fucking ROG IKEA chair has fucking RGB on it, and fucking you
I
can
gotta
spin around
say,
and have
I
lights going.
honestly hope not. Because RGB is
Hey,
expensive, honestly. Like, have you ever seen RGB fans? Those things are expensive compared to like just a regular fan.
I'm like looking at my case, like, yes, I have seen those.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have
Kind of
any.
like,
All mine are black.
I've got a couple, but yeah, I agree. They're more expensive. But can you? It to me, it kind of reminds me of the kids when you were little. You know, the certain kids would get those light up shoes,
I
and
had those.
yeah, you know, and as a kid, you were the envy of everyone else because you had the fucking shoes that lit up. Like, oh, dude, that's awesome. I wish I had those. Like, I never fucking had those, so I was always like the guy, like, man, what a fucking badass. I want that. So, you're a certified badass since you did have them.
I had the blue ones.
Ooh,
Ooh. But
fancy.
yeah, I'm curious to see what's coming out of it. I have not that like I was expecting anything from this to begin with because it came out of nowhere. But I'm
Mhm.
hoping I can at least get a good desk out of the partnership that brewed out of nowhere.
It'd be interesting to see. Hopefully, they don't go too crazy, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. More about PC gaming though. The RTX 3080 attempted to launch this week, and that has been a crazy story. I saw all of it happen firsthand, but there's many accounts just like myself, just like my own on Twitter. Um, they, I was refreshing on Nvidia, on Best Buy, and Newegg. I really didn't want anything from Newegg because I wanted the Founders Edition, but I was able to actually get a tough card in my cart, and while I was paying for it, it sold. Um, I was never able to get a Founders Edition off NVIDIA. It went from notify me when it's in stock, to out of stock. I never saw a buy. I never saw any, like, no one beat me to it. Well, a bot did. But, and same thing with Best Buy. Best Buy said coming soon, then sold out. And if you kept refreshing, it would actually alternate between coming soon and sold out. So I don't know what was going on there. Um, yeah, as soon as that happened, eBay flooded with the cards. That scalpers upcharging for them, dumb people buying them. Um, it came out that Bounce Alert. Apparently, it's this company that charges $70 a month, and it's mainly for people who like getting Yeezys and the sneaker crowd who spend.
Yeezys.
Is that what they are? I don't
Yeezy,
fucking.
like Kanye West, like Yeezys.
I
Yeah,
don't give a shit.
I know, but yeah, I'm just correcting you.
Anyway, people who spend too much money on shoes get scalped and then spend more than what they should have. So they spend like a lot of money on fucking shoes. And these people, and I can't blame them. Like, you don't need shoes. And I would probably do that myself, to be honest. Not gonna lie, because I think those are just stupid shoes. But they did it to graphics cards. It wasn't cool. I guess the shoe people don't appreciate it either. But
Oh god, they're gonna have a $70 a month club for graphics cards now in the future.
shit, I was
Jesus.
thinking about it. Get two, sell one, and then you can recoup your $70.
Well, yeah, but Jesus,
um,
crazy.
yeah, like it was just interesting because I joined the NVIDIA subreddit, or not subreddit, Discord, and I joined the chats just to listen to people what they were saying. And some people like were using bots to try to just get one for themselves. So like these bots are like really sophisticated, and where they were beating other bots. And someone who had a homebrew bot never got a notification that anything was going on sale. So that like the other bots beat out bots. Like it's kind of crazy. Um, Newegg threw it in my face because after I put the thing in there and I didn't get it. 3 hours later, it actually sent me an email saying, "Oh, you forgot something in your cart." Like, you motherfuckers.
Damn it.
But it's just,
uh,
yeah, it was a crazy launch, and like it was a very failed launch. Newegg claims that all theirs were sold to humans, but yet you go on eBay and the same dude has like 14 of them, all with Newegg confirmations. So we all know it's bullshit, but I think Newegg was probably one of the best ones out of them. Uh, it's I think this is the new norm. Honestly, I don't know how you combat this. You just have to be prepared not to get one day one.
I mean, I know how you combat it, but it's not going to happen. And the easiest way is to
Yeah,
ensure that you have enough fucking cards. Like you produce enough. Like it was from the Jay's 2 cents video where he's talking about this whole fiasco, and he said that they started full production in August. Like that's not like a month
that's no
ago.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fucking time. They should have started full production of this shit like before summer. Like hell, after one. I mean, okay, so the pandemic has obviously fucked everything up, and I mean, pretty much nobody is like, it's affected everyone and everything. But once COVID kind of started dying down and things were opening up again, they should have started full production like fucking immediately to ensure that they had enough stock so that this kind of shit doesn't happen. But I get what you're saying, and that it's the new norm in terms of a new card coming out and you not being able to get it when it first comes out, because that's just how these companies are. They have a paper launch, they say, oh yeah, it's sold out everywhere, that's how fucking popular it is. Yeah, if you have like one fucking card in each store, and then you give like all the rest of your stocks to streamers and influencers and shit, like
Yeah.
of course it's gonna make it seem like it's so fucking popular.
I like how Newegg released a statement saying that their traffic for this launch was more than Black Friday. It's like, those are fucking bots, you dumbass. Like, this graphics card, a launch for a $700 graphics card. First off, that's a small group of people who are actually going to get this card. And then you're saying like it beats out all of fucking America Black Friday shopping? No, it's fucking bots. Like, it's stupid. Like,
Yeah, that just shows how out of touch they are with what's actually happening versus what they are can only imagine is happening. Like, I mean, because our website doesn't do fantastically, but there are days when we get a shitload of views, but then I'll go look at the stats and it's bots. Like one bot will find a link somewhere and then it'll just like click on other shit, and so it's like it'll say that we're getting all these views, but it's from one fucking bot just
I
crawling our
remember we got
website.
attacked from the Russians.
That still happens from time to time. Not necessarily the Russians this time. I think the last one was in Vietnam, actually. Yeah, it's crazy. But it's just I hadn't heard about that Newegg thing, but that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was just a failure all around. Stock too low and not enough graphics cards going to actual consumers' hands. And NVIDIA had no bot protections. There on that Bounce Alert site, there was people saying, "Hey, thanks Bounce Alerts. I got 40 cards. I got 20 cards." Like, what the fuck? Like, that's when you know that NVIDIA didn't do anything to stop it. They say they're going to go through and manually look at all the orders and cancel any suspicious ones. I don't know how that's could just be them doing damage control at this point. I don't know if they're actually going to do it, but we'll find out.
Like, so I mean, what would be considered suspicious? Like, I understand somebody, like, say you or I purchased 40 fucking cards from them, but like, how would that be suspicious? 40 cards in the span of like 10 seconds, 40 cards in the span of a minute, 40 cards in the span of 1 second. Like, you know what I mean? What is their criteria? That's what I would want to know, because they could easily say they're doing this and then just go through and be like, oh yeah, they all met the criteria, it's legit. Because I mean, if they're getting money, they're getting money. I don't feel like, yeah, like you said, I feel like it's more of a cover their own ass kind of PR move versus something they're actually going to do. Because to actually manually go through and look at all of the sales is, I mean, that's crazy. If they are actually doing that, then kudos to them. But I don't think they are, to be honest. I feel like it's
I don't
just
believe it.
cover your ass move because it just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't believe it at all. And maybe they'll be like, okay, well, this address is getting 20 cards. Obviously, that's bullshit. But I would think bots would be more sophisticated and send it to different places and not all on one address, one credit card.
Well, I mean, and so maybe that's what the criteria for their suspicious. Like maybe if it's the same name but it's getting sent to like 40 addresses, or if it's different names but they're all being charged to one card, something like that. Maybe that's when they could say, okay, this seems a little suspicious. But like,
Well, I'm pretty sure they use those virtual cards.
oh yeah, how you can make like yeah, virtual cards, like credit
Yeah.
cards, so that yeah, wow. Well, I mean, like you said, we'll see. But I honestly think they're just like, fuck it, we got our money, we don't care where the
I think
cards
so
end up.
too. And they did an interview with one of the admins, or like I don't know exactly who he was, but he was from the company from Bounce Alerts, saying that that's what they do. They allow people to buy that, and they're getting ready for the next launch.
So, explain to the people who may not be familiar how the fuck that bounce alerts thing actually works. It just they're somehow able to get the information to people before like the
But
people's like the
so
website
they get
notifications.
so when I joined the NVIDIA Discord, someone in there who had their own bot, as I specified earlier, told us how the bot works. And it learns the page, and it doesn't go through all the pages the way we do. It pretty much goes directly to the server to make the payment, or like to make the order. So it circumvents a lot of the things that we as a user has to go through on top. And they were also able to do it like right when it fucking launched. So as I said, when I refreshed my browser, it went from notify me to out of stock. I had no chance. I wasted my time. I was, so it just circumvents the user experience and goes directly to the source.
Right, because we have to waste time going to the product page, finding the product, adding it to the cart, confirming our address, confirming our payment details,
Right.
clicking next, and then whereas the bot just like, fuck you suckers, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
That is pretty damn complicated if it's because I mean I kind of feel like how would you be able to get to that part unless you did all those clicks, but if they're able to go to like maybe top level server or whatever the fuck it's called, like
yeah, they just wrote a script. Yeah.
yeah, then
So
that's
and that's what the $70 pays for. That I guess that on their end they research this how the website works beforehand and writes up a script that works.
so like let's say for the next card or next launch or whatever you or I decide to pay the $70 to bounce alert, we would get our own bots that learns the website of whatever it is we're trying to get, and we put in the information that is relevant to us, like our address, our payment details or whatever, and then the bot would run when whatever it's supposed to launches and guarantee that we get it.
So I'm not 100% sure about that because I've never used a bot.
Right.
But their whole thing, like bounce alerts, is to give you the tools to get that kind of stuff before everyone else. So my guess is you pay them and they make the script and then you just got to run it. But I have no idea. I've never done it before, so I'm talking about my ass, to be honest.
Well, right. It's I don't know. I guess it's if you just have to leave your computer on all night waiting for like 6 a.m. and then have the bot running so that it automatically fucking does it, then if you're willing to pay 70 bucks or whatever a month and do this, then whatever. But it's just seems kind of jacked up.
Yep. Hopefully, the eBay brigade that's going after them will teach them a lesson. So on eBay, this pissed off a lot of people. So eBay, someone says they built a bot to bid on eBay bids, ridiculous, or eBay listings, ridiculous prices for 1080, or I'm sorry, not 10, 3080s. And one of them was going for $80,000 at a time. Other people are trying to make it hard so that buyers can't find 3080s. They're selling pictures of 3080s. They're selling drawings of 3080s. And none of them expect to sell, but they're just trying to make listings to clog up the eBay searches so that
Gotcha.
sellers won't be able to sell. It's like, if there's any people that you piss off, like gamers are the ones that will go ham on you. So
Yeah, that's
that's been fun to watch.
I hadn't heard about that, but that's actually kind of interesting, like
Yeah.
it's fucking drawings of 3080s and stuff. Like here's a Polaroid that I took of a screenshot of a website that I
I
drew.
posted one on our Discord.
I didn't understand it, but now I understand the context of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wow, that's pretty crazy.
So it's like a bunch of we're supposed to be early adopters of the cards are upset, and they're just at war with the scalpers right now by not allowing the scalpers to. And apparently, so the scalpers, or what they're doing is to fight back, is they're making their own fake accounts and they're bidding on their own stuff a ridiculous price. So then you don't have, so they don't get caught up in the like 30 days of non-payment where they could just drag it out. So both accounts that come to a mutual agreement to not pay and they can relist. So now the scalpers are fake bidding on their own stuff, which I would think that would actually hurt them because then they get it high enough to where
Nobody can buy it.
yeah, so
Or nobody would want to buy it. Yeah.
right. So it's kind of just funny. It's a little war going on in eBay.
I kind of want to see somebody pay 80,000 for that, and I would like to talk to them, and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Well, that's kind of like the dude that paid $500 just to cut in line. That's obviously it's not that much, but I would have the same question. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, and then it's like I was telling my girlfriend about this yesterday. Actually, it's like when I think it was the PS2 launch. Somebody paid full price for the PS2 box. Like they listed that
on
shit
eBay.
on eBay.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was they made sure to say PS2 box, but the hype around the fucking console was so big that whoever bought it was just like, PS2, fucking click it, insta buy, yes, buy it now. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get one. And then they got sent the box and they were fucking pissed because the person sold them just the box, but eBay was like, nah, bro, they said it was just a box, like in the listing and the
Yeah.
title, like a picture of the fucking box. Like, you're an idiot.
I remember that, yeah.
So, I mean, I'd be surprised if there's not like a 3080 box on eBay. There probably
No,
is.
there are. Yeah, there's boxes too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they've
literally
done
just the
everything.
boxes. Like
Mhm.
just, I'm selling a 3080 box.
Yeah, that's part of people protesting. I guess people who were able to get cards are helping out. Yeah,
God damn it.
but it's a funny situation, I guess. Not, but it sucks at the same time.
So tying this back into our recent podcast guest, Kern, he actually posted in our Discord that he was able to get a 3080 via Amazon Germany, I think is
Yeah,
what it was.
Amazon.de.
Yeah. And so, but it says it's supposed to ship, what, in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
They're supposed to get it end of September, which
Yeah.
I honestly don't believe.
Yeah.
I think it's backdoored to hell.
We'll see if he gets it. If he does,
Good luck, Kern.
yeah, we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
If he does, we'll bring him on so he can discuss the stuff about it. Just because why the fuck not?
Yeah, no, I hope he does, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, enough about that. So Ubisoft, I didn't bring this up before just because I forgot. During Ubisoft's
Forward.
Nintendo Direct,
They're called forwards. Theirs
yeah,
are called
Ubisoft
forwards.
Forward,
Yeah.
they announced a VR experience. I'll call it that. Far Cry 3, 3-ish, I guess. So it's there's a place called Zero Latency, which I've never heard of before this. It's kind of like the new laser tag. I don't know if I don't know what age our audience is, but if you're our age, you'll know what we're talking about. If you're younger, there used to be a place where you could go and fucking play laser tag, and they like built out where there's towers and you can snipe people, and it's kind of cool now that I think about it. Like on the way back,
It was super badass. Yeah, laser tag was the shit. I specifically Laser Quest.
yeah, I was a member to that. I had my own little key. No one could use my name because when you buy the membership, it blocks it off. That's actually where Sharpshooter. My name was Sharpshooter there, and that's kind of where Sharp D came from. Honestly, actually. So
That's pretty cool.
I used to play a lot of laser tag. Anywho, they're working with this place called Zero Latency to do a Far Cry version of their VR games. So they have different games in there, and they're like some are PvP, some are just like PvE. I don't know exactly what the Far Cry one's going to be, but it's a big room where you have your headset on, you have like a gun, some vest, and you're pretty much just running around it. But you think you're seeing stuff because it's VR. I think that's really cool. I like the idea of it. And they're doing one based off the Far Cry 3 island. I don't know exactly what it's going to be about. It was a teaser. I don't even think it's available right now. I think it's just more of it's coming soon. Um, it's kind of weird to do that though. Like I would think you would want to put it on something more accessible than that.
Well,
Like
so where is this place?
I was going to bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah, so because if you put it on like Oculus or Vive or whatever, you have more audience because there's only in zero latency only has 9 locations in the whole US.
Mm. Is there one in Texas?
It's actually in Houston.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was like, that's interesting. Like, that's cool. I want to check it out. I didn't know about this place beforehand. The Far Cry Island sounds cool. I It's kind of expensive. I think it's like $50 for 45 minutes. So,
fuck.
but it's something I'd want to do once, maybe twice.
Like I was just when you said that it was in Houston, I'm like, maybe I have to make another road trip.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I mean that would be cool as shit. Like if it was awesome. Like I mean, it sounds like it would be cool when you're running around with a gun and all that, like vest. And if it's on the Far Cry 3 island, I actually Far Cry 3 is one of the games that I've actually played through and beat because I actually enjoyed the story. And I remember actually I was telling you about it while I was playing it. I was like, holy shit, you can snipe sharks like with this sniper rifle, and you didn't believe me, so I fucking clipped it. That was one of the first things that I ever recorded with NVIDIA GeForce Experience was me sniping sharks in Far Cry 3. And so like I'm kind of fond of Far Cry 3, so I think it would be cool to run around on that island. I just really can't picture what the VR experience would be like unless it's PvP or something like
Maybe it's like PvE, like maybe before Voss, like you're trying to get away from Voss's people. That's what I could think of.
Like they have like a little Jeep in the room you get in and pretend to drive.
That's the only thing I could think of, unless it's like PvP, which then why do it in Far Cry?
Right, it could be any universe, but maybe they're just going for like the name recognition.
Yeah. So I would like to check it out once, see how it is, and then if it sucks, then never do it again.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you try out? You went to the Halo experience or whatever when it came to Houston?
I didn't make it out, unfortunately.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, right.
No, I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, it's worth trying out once, and if it sucks, it sucks. But then, at least if we do it, we could say, hey, we've done it. We can let you know how it is.
We could talk about it on the podcast.
What?
But in Ubisoft news with VR, how I complained about the Far Cry one wasn't going to be on a headset, like a home headset. They actually announced at the Facebook Connect that Ubisoft, Red Storm specifically, which if you're not familiar, used to make the old Tom Clancy games, is making a VR Assassin's Creed and a VR Splinter Cell from the ground up for the Oculus platform. I am cautiously optimistic about this because I'm scared it's going to be another tech demo. I haven't seen anything from Oculus that has been nothing more than a tech demo. So,
I mean, Robo Recall.
That was a fun game, but I think it was more like it was still like on the tech demo level to me.
I mean, if people, when I talk to someone about VR and they're like, what's one of the cooler games you played aside from Seeking Dawn, which we mention like almost every episode, I actually often mention Robo Recall because I tell them about just the cool things you can do in it. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing it probably is more of a tech demo because there's a story. Yeah. But like, there's realistically, you're just there to like shoot guns and grab robots and rip their limbs off and use them as meat shields and hit a motherfucker with a motherfucker. Like, just
rip off their head and throw it at another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you do a lot of cool shit in the game. It was a fun game.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't really like Seeking Dawn, where you have a whole world to explore and it's
crafting
not like
and upgrades and
yeah. And I haven't seen anything on that level coming from out of any Oculus partnership, even Marvel Superhero or Marvel Heroes or whatever.
Marvel Powers United VR.
yeah, that was bullshit too. And I expected more out of that. Like, so I'm cautiously optimistic. The fact that I guess Red Storm is doing it, so hopefully, they have a real dev.
Yeah, they have a pretty good legacy. Like as you mentioned, they did the original like Clancy games and stuff. So like
Yeah,
they were like all of Rainbow Six, I think,
and Ghost.
and the first Ghosts. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they got the know-how.
yeah. So that they're on there, that's cool. But I guess budget too. If if they're not given the budget, then you're not gonna have a good game. So
Like you said, I would agree that I'm cautiously optimistic, but just thinking about it gets me fucking excited, dude. Like, because I mean, okay, Assassin's Creed, I'm less excited about
same.
only because I know that Hitman VR is in existence. Like, I know it's a different setting, but realistically, it's pretty much the same fucking thing. And Splinter Cell is sort of the same fucking thing, but more emphasis on guns. I guess in Hitman you use guns, but Assassin's Creed, you're more about like jumping off of rooftops and fucking stabbing people and sword play, and it's a little bit. I'm excited for it, but I'm not as excited. In terms of like ranking systems, it's probably Splinter Cell, Hitman, Assassin's Creed in that order for me. Uh, Provided that I get to play all of them and experience them. But I mean, it's just crazy. Like I hope that they're able to do the visions that I have in my head for them, because it's like we discussed in the last podcast how the hitman, you could like tap on the guy's shoulder and then he licked the wrong shoulder and he looks the wrong way and then he turns around and you punch him. Like, if you can do that kind of shit with like in the Assassin's Creed universe and like Splinter Cell, and like that would just be fucking great. And can you imagine if there was co-op in either of those games in VR?
That'd be
Like
cool shit.
Splinter, like if they did like Splinter Cell Conviction or whatever, like how
Yeah.
the two players like fucking in VR, like that would be amazing.
And I'm having a hard time seeing Splinter Cell translate to VR with
You have to stealthily crawl along your own
yeah.
floor and like
Yeah.
shimmy on pipes, like invisible pipes.
It comes like you had to buy this this jungle gym. So when you like
You've got some assembly required. Like you have to
yeah.
fucking assemble shit in your room so that you can like shimmy on and stuff. PVC pipes and all kinds of fucking foam and like yeah. Oh fuck, man. That'd be fucking crazy. Cause especially because if you're doing the pipes thing and you like lift your legs up and then you
Yeah,
just have
yeah,
to wait
dude.
to drop down.
And then when you hang from your legs upside down,
Yeah. Fucking gravel.
choke them out, yeah.
It'd be badass if you could like give him the RKO, just run out of nowhere.
Like I'm cautiously optimistic. Like there's so much
Potential.
opportunity, yeah, potential, but I just don't see it translating well.
I just
That's
hope it's
their
fucking
job.
yeah. I
So
hope it's fucking great. I just hope it's fucking great. Like I said, I'm just excited, and if there was co-op, that'd be fucking amazing. Like yeah, yeah.
yeah, so to our listeners out there, when they announced it, it was just I don't even know who the lady was. It was a minute of her talking about both of them. No screenshots, no gameplay, no cover art, no nothing. It's literally like someone was like, "Why don't we do this? All right, let's talk about let's announce it." Like that was nothing. So it's
So we
pretty
don't.
early.
Yeah, we don't really have much on it. Like I would love a release date, but I mean, yeah, this probably not gonna hear that for at least a year.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. They probably agreed to it like, they're about to walk on stage like, oh fuck, we need one more thing. Like one just something we can tell people. We don't even need a fucking graphic. Like you don't even have to spend 5 minutes on a graphic, bro. Just put like a name or something on there. And they're like, VR Assassin's Creed, VR Splinter Cell. Like, all right, cool. Done.
We'll
But
see.
that
We'll see. Hopefully it comes out soon.
yeah, and then
But I don't
it's just like we were talking about how Ubisoft didn't give a shit about the Splinter Cell franchise, and here they are, fucking. Well, you want a new Splinter Cell game? Fuck it, it's in VR.
well, I think those are really two cool VR games, and maybe they saw VR Hitman and like, well, we have two stealth games, which
True.
is why there's no art for it. There's like, I don't know.
It's entirely possible. But I mean, if they're gonna do that, they may as well just go all out and announce. I mean, they did say Far Cry, but like they should do the home console headset, whatever fucking version like we're talking about with this. You know, can you imagine like Far Cry 5 in VR having to take out Joseph Seed on fucking on acid and shit? You're like,
Dude, yeah, like
oh god, I don't know where I'm going.
that the lady, I forgot her name.
Bliss. Oh, that's Faith.
Yeah, dude, that yeah, the bliss is the shit that gets you all drunk. That would be fucking shitty. I hated it when it wasn't like not even in your face, like when it was on a computer screen. It's gonna be even
Yeah.
shittier in VR. I think that was my least favorite Far Cry area or sub
Villain
boss or
or
whatever
whatever.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was weak. Anyway,
Yeah. So our next topic is there was a leak about Xbox, the memory cards that to or expansion cards to expand the your hard drive space or your storage space. The leak was that the 1 terabyte cards, and I think they're only 1 terabyte, so I haven't seen any other sizes yet, are going to cost $220 for a terabyte. So, and you know, that's on top of your $500 or $300 console. Microsoft was reached, or they tried reaching Microsoft for a comment on this leak, and Microsoft neither confirmed nor denied this. So I'm gonna guess it's more so true than because they might have pulled the like what they did with the S, like, all right, let's come clean. Yeah. I think that's gonna shock a lot of people. $220 for a terabyte. Worth the memory.
learn to manage your space, I guess, is the takeaway. Because yeah, that's a pretty substantial amount of money. I mean, an extra 100 to like $150 whenever you get another fucking console. You know?
Yeah. So the PlayStation is doing it where you can buy an external NVMe drive and I guess plug it into a slot, which expands it. They're gonna have a list of approved hard drives or SSDs, and my guess is that it has the requirements again. Obviously, the requirements are PCI 4.0 because that's just what the whole console is based off of. But it's probably gonna have to meet a certain read-write
Speed.
speed for since they're trying to stream data off those for no loading, which I really hope they accomplish because that's gonna be really cool.
That would be really cool.
I like PlayStation's approach better, allowing you to buy whatever hard drive you want, and granted, it meets the requirements. But I can see Xbox's approach of just making a proprietary little Seagate hard memory card type looking thing, because I'll go on the price first. $220 is about how much a PCI 4.0 SSD cost for 1 terabyte. Those go for $200. All these SSDs run off PCI 4.0. So this is pretty much a PCI 4.0 SSD that's just in a proprietary shape that you can only use on Xbox, and you just plug it in and you run. How many people do you think are tech savvy enough, even though Sony says these are the ones that you're going to buy, and they're going to buy a PCI 3.0 NVMe drive, they're going to buy a cheap PCI 4.0 drive that doesn't have the right read-write skill or speeds? You know, I like Sony's approach because I like being able to control what I buy. And like, if there's only, you can buy different sizes that suits you. If I don't want to play my PlayStation anymore, I can throw that on my computer. You know, like, it's not just proprietary, but that's not the console market. The console market are people who buy the console and they just plug it into the TV and run with it. I'm coming from someone where I like tinkering with my shit. So I can see a lot of people buying the wrong SSDs,
Yeah, yeah,
even though
definitely.
Sony says these are the ones that you should buy.
Because I mean, I'm pretty sure something like that happened before. Maybe not necessarily with hard drives, but that sort of thing where like only these are compatible, and people just like buy whatever the fuck they want to buy. You know.
Yeah.
Like my take on it is that I kind of felt like we were moving away from memory cards. You know what I mean? Like I growing up, having like the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation and the Dreamcast. Okay, well, don't get me started on the Dreamcast VMU because that thing was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I
But
liked it.
but like the N64 memory cards and the PlayStation memory cards and stuff, like I felt like we've been moving away from that. But then 360 came out, and I had a fucking 360 memory card that because it's like, well, sometimes I want to take my saves over to a friend's house or whatever.
Right.
It was just convenient. But I feel like that's we were getting past that, and then now to hear this, that it's like we're going back to that. It almost seems like kind of like a why.
It's not. I wouldn't call it a memory card the way 361, because I had a 360 memory card too, and we can upload our, like, if we have like playing Gauntlet or something, we can put in our memory cards and have our character on there. Or you want to be able to do it. This is more expanded storage, because if you buy, if you have a terabyte hard drive and you like downloading a bunch of shit, you like having all your games on there, you're gonna run out of space fast. I'm reading some of these games are 100 gigs. That's like 10 games. 10 games, kind of a lot of games, in my opinion, because I only play like 2 or 3 at a time. But there's people like myself also who like just downloading games and leave them on there just in case. That's why I have such a big hard drive. Like I have a 4 terabyte drive, but I don't even use it anymore because it's a hard drive and an SSD. I use my SSD now, but I was bought so I can hoard games. So I get where people are coming from, but it's I see it more as, instead of selling a 2 terabyte model, you buy the SSD to just expand it. So it's more of a hard drive than a memory card.
Well, I feel like the point still stands, but actually I remembered something that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot before, kind of what you said, and it's actually related to this. Um, Warframe is apparently actually getting smaller. And it's not getting smaller in the way that Destiny is getting smaller, where Destiny is removing a shitload of content in order to reduce their install size or whatever. What I read about Warframe is they want to decrease the size of their game, and they are, in fact, doing that by optimizing the way that their textures are loaded and rendered and that sort of thing. And so thereby they're not really losing anything, like if any they're losing size, like volume. Whereas before it was like, let's say 20 gigs, now it's going to be down to like 14 gigs or something like that. I'm just estimating on the numbers, but basically
Yeah.
they've found a way to substantially reduce the amount of gigs that the game itself is going to take. And for a game like Warframe that's constantly updating, constantly evolving, I feel like that's really fucking cool and really fucking impressive, especially in the scenario that we're discussing here. Whereas if you don't have enough storage, what the hell are you gonna do? And you have to spend another $220 on to fucking update your system or whatever. So for I call it a AAA title now. When it first launched, it was totally an indie game, but I feel like Warframe is now a AAA title. So for a AAA game to be doing something like that, like whereas they're actively trying to reduce their install size without cutting content, fuck you, Bungie. Like, I think that's really cool. And in terms of this scenario, like I said, it's pretty cool to see a company doing that, so that you don't have to worry about buying all these extra peripherals and stuff. And even though I have a 4 terabyte hard drive just like you, I do prefer to use the SSD just because it loads faster.
Yeah. So what actually allows that kind of stuff to happen, where you're shrinking the game size, is these hard drives, these SSDs, just because they talked about this, where they were saying that they're going to actually see games getting smaller on the new consoles because all of them are going to have SSDs, and you don't need assets to be loaded in the file 100 times, because they were talking about how, like, reusable assets like fire hydrants or something, like you put a fire hydrant in there for every level, because if you only had the fire hydrant once, it's because it's on a disk, it would have to go looking for that fire hydrant, and it would increase your load speeds. So what they did was they just clumped in all the assets together for that level, and it would load faster. But every single level that had the same asset had a duplication of it. While with the SSD, since it's not a physical disk, it doesn't need to go searching for it, so that it's not going to, so assets will not be duplicated the way they have been on previous generations. So we should probably be seeing smaller downloads for PC as well if we have a NVMe drive. I don't know if they're doing that because of optimization for the upcoming generation. I'm curious to see how the load times are going to be affected for people using hard disk drives, because you specifically brought up how they're getting rid of assets or reused assets.
Well, they're optimizing the way that like the textures are loaded. I think something about how they're adding some certain effects or something that were only used by like 1% of the gamers playing the fucking game, like the highest ultra settings of just like, oh look, I can see that 1 pixel of light, and that added, you know, X amount of graphics times, you know, levels and characters and everything like that. And so they decided to tweak some of that stuff, take some of the little shit out that, you know, realistically doesn't have much of a difference on the way the game looks.
Yeah,
And that's saving substantial amount of storage.
I see what you're saying. Well, I think Xbox is doing something cool with something similar, where they came out, I think it was either today or yesterday, and they said that Xbox Series S downloads are actually going to be smaller than Xbox Series X downloads, because you don't have the resolution's lower and you don't need high textures and all that stuff. So they're actually optimizing the size of the games for each console.
That's pretty cool. I mean, they could have just been dicks and have the same fucking download regardless of which
Yeah.
console you have. So the fact that they're taking the time to do that's pretty cool.
But I see your point with how you're saying we're kind of going back in time in terms of memory cards. I guess it is that illusion. I don't see it that way, because, you know, if you want to expand your console, you need to give it more storage, and that's just the way to do it. And it's pricey, but welcome to current technology. Consoles haven't been in an area where they're actually like comparable to PCs. I don't think ever.
Until now.
Yeah, until now. So it's, this is how much it cost, guys. This is how much a PCI 4.0 hard drive cost. Like,
welcome to our world, bitches.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing that is now happening, and you know, it's just how it's gonna have to be. When you were talking, I had something I was gonna say, but it seems to have slipped my mind.
I'm just really excited for whenever console games push PC gamers to start using NVMe drives, because I want to be able to take advantage of these new technologies as well. Even though PCs had them for a long time, it's never been utilized because console never utilized them, and they were always designed around hard disk drives. But now that consoles are moving to NVMe drives, that's a huge fucking jump. They skipped like SATA SSDs, and most people don't even have 4.0 in their systems. We don't have 4.0 in our systems. So I'm really stoked, and I can't wait to see how developers start using it and how they're going to force the PC market to, get better.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, I mean, nothing but, we're sitting here and we're critiquing it being what, most people consider armchair quarterbacks or what have you. But like, overall, we're still excited for it because, as technology moves forward, it just means a better gaming experience for everyone, regardless of what system, console, whatever you play on. PC, as we mentioned, PC is getting like this amazing graphics card for relatively cheap, and in the coming years it's only going to get relative.
Yeah, relative. Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it's just going to keep getting better. They're going to keep improving upon the architecture and the speeds and everything, and it's just going to keep getting better. And the same thing with the consoles. Like they'll last for a few years, maybe 5 to 7 years, whatever the lifespan is of a console these days. What PS4 was in 2013, so like 7 years. Um, After that, then they'll probably still be trying to play catch up with PCs because PCs year after year, you don't
Yeah,
have to keep releasing. You keep releasing new things to improve, whereas consoles are kind of stagnant until the next one. And so eventually it'll come to a point where it's like the next console comes out and just like can't even really tell the difference.
but I gotta say, man, like Horizon on PS4 looks pretty decent, and that's crazy thinking that it's on a 7-year-old console that was outdated when it fucking came out. Like the way they optimize these games for this hardware is insane to me. Because if you had that same hardware and that PS4 and a PC, you ain't running shit.
That's hilarious.
So I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I wasn't so, I just wanted to bring up the topic because I knew you would have a different opinion than me. That's just how much it costs, guys.
It's the price of storage these days.
For that quality of storage, yes.
Yeah, or you could just manage your games better, like not have so many randomly installed.
I think the consoles are going to come with enough memory, in my opinion, or storage, not memory. That's RAM.
Like onboard memory or whatever.
Yeah, like I think the internal hard drive that it's going to come with is going to be fine. Like minus the S, but that's a budget console anyway, so that's kind of like the territory of it. I think the PlayStation and the X, I think 5 games, maybe if they get a little bit bigger, 7, 8. That's still a decent amount.
Well, so I feel like if you're getting the budget console, like the digital only, it's almost a necessity to invest in the storage because you're basically just putting all of your games digital, so you don't have the option to like not install it. So it's eventually you'll get to a point where it's like, fuck, I actually am playing all these games that are on my hard drives and I want to play the new ones that come out. So
I would still say you can at least have 5 games on there because if the saves are going to be smaller, let's just say they're 100 gigs each. I don't play 5 games at a time.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Kids these days have fucking ADD and ADHD or whatever. They'll jump from playing Fortnite to fucking COD to fucking Fall Guys to whatever. Like, yeah, you and I may not have more than 5 to 6 games that we're playing at a time, but there are people out there that just like jump around like crazy.
Yeah, but that's one of the penalties of getting a budget console. Like it's an entry level console, it gets you playing the stuff. If you want something more, then
you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wahahaha.
Speaking of Mario always defeats that bad King Bowser.
Okay, so I'm looking this way because I have a third monitor, and I kind of want to bring this up. I didn't want to like misspeak. So this was on Kotaku, and it said Super Mario 64's weird gay Bowser in quotes line is not in Super Mario 3D All Stars. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me play that for you real quick.
So long, gay Bowser!
And Daniel and I were discussing this before we started recording. When I was young and I played Mario 64, I actually do remember him saying this. And it's one of those things where like, I didn't really pay attention to it. I just, probably as a kid, I was like, aha, that's so fucking funny, and then I kind of just forgot about it. And then when I saw this article, I was like, why does that sound familiar? And I listened to it and I was like, holy shit, that was in the fucking game. You said you didn't really remember it, right? Or you didn't?
I didn't know anything about it before an hour ago when you told me.
Did you ever play Mario 64? Or
I did, yeah. I played it both on the 64 and then the re-release on the DS.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure they would have taken that out on the DS version too. But Yeah, the article goes on to say basically that where was it? They released the Japanese version of Mario 64, and this updated cartridge also included updated voice lines. And so, since Bowser is known as King Koopa in Japan, that meant removing the line that used his Western name and replace it with the more region-friendly "bye bye." That's when you toss Bowser and you into the bomb, and he's like, Mario's like, "Bye
Bye
bye."
bye. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's probably what people remember more so the bye bye. But I distinctly do remember the.
So long, Bowser! So long!
Oh, didn't mean to play it twice.
I probably just never like even you playing it. I wouldn't have heard that. Like the fact that you told me, like he says that, and then I hear it. So I probably did hear it and just didn't like
It didn't
register.
click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
But,
funny.
I mean, it's definitely something that in today's culture Nintendo could not get away with. Back in the day, you know, like you said, we were probably just like, haha, that's funny, you know, as juveniles or
But that's
whatever.
not what he was saying though.
That's not what he's supposed to be saying, yes. But we don't know what the voice line is supposed to be. The article says that Mario's voice actor, Charles Martinet, tried to clarify that it's so long King dash A Bowser, like so long King of Bowser, but it does not sound like that. And the reason why that is because the clip that I've been playing says it's an uncompressed version of the audio that was ripped directly from the game. So it's not something that, I mean, I would say it's highly unlikely that somebody edited it to make it say that. Because, like I said, I remember that. I just don't. It just wasn't like a big deal for me as a kid. I laughed and was like, whatever. But I mean, you know, whether or not we'll ever find out what he was actually supposed to be saying is a different story, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big deal, but all right.
I just thought it was interesting because I had honestly totally fucking forgot about that. And then I saw that on Kotaku and I'm like, all right, that's I do remember that. Yeah.
I think that's all I have.
Yeah. It's been about an hour, so it's pretty good.
So I've been Daniel,
And I've been Matthew.
and we'll see you next time.
Catch you guys in the next video.
Laters.
Long, Bowser!